biker going down the road, getting ready to approach the directed energy weapons. This is Lewis Arthur with VOP News. We're out here in Oklahoma, in Norman, Oklahoma, weather capital of the United States. Looking at directed energy weapons, running simulations just to see how security responds when people walk up to those towers. We're putting together multiple simulations to present to the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office. We're expecting Sheriff Chris Amison to come out here and shut this facility down. Getting ready to get up to the drainage ditch. It's a little culvert, a bridge he's getting ready to cross. Should be able to see the white hat. It's supposed to be visible, less obvious than a fluorescent or a neon. We want to do is keep getting pictures from underneath these towers to send to the university to let them know how serious we are about eliminating these directed energy weapons. In the title is actually an email. We encourage you to email the president of Oklahoma University and tell him to stop helping the United States military play God with the weather. These NEXRAD towers you're looking at were utilized with over 100 other NEXRADs to steer weather weapon Helene into western North Carolina as part of a land grab. We'll continue to keep talking those bullet points and beat them out there as much as we can. You will not see CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, Newsmax, Right Broadcasting. You won't see none of them doing reports like this. They're not allowed to report on what the United States military is doing to you. He's crossing over, as you can see, towards the buildings. Going to cut through the parking lot. His hands up. Yeah, he's right there, as you can see. Maybe we can zoom in. Not sure what your visual is, but over at the white doors and inside. A little shaky, sorry, it's a little windy out. If you're just joining us, there's an email. That's the title of this live broadcast. That email is the president of Oklahoma University. We're still having an extremely difficult time getting law enforcement to come out and shut down the crimes that are occurring at this university right now. Federal law is being violated. Nuremberg violations are occurring. Oklahoma University is leading the way with those violations between their weather research programs and their chemical and biological agent programs. Had a great encounter with Norman Police Department last night. They responded to a call, and that's 2 more officers that we're going to have on film. And these 2 don't know nothing about these directed energy weapons, they say. They're not aware that Oklahoma University is helping the United States military play God with the weather. They're aware of it now. And their body cameras were rolling last night, so everybody who sees that footage, and you just keep spreading the truth. Make your own virus. Make it a righteous truth. Simulations are still occurring. There's that wind again. You can see the streaks behind the directed energy weapons and X-rad towers. Stratospheric aerosol injections. Been coming through and hitting in little bursts. So when we're not filming and reporting right here at a crime scene where directed energy weapons were utilized to murder our Western North Carolina families and families across 4 other states. When we're not doing this and we're moving around on the streets, catching law enforcement, interacting with the community, and letting them know and the community members they're interacting with that the United States military is playing God with the weather, and these directed energy weapons at this campus, the Weather Command Center, were used with over 100 other NEXRADs to steer Helene up into Western North Carolina. Now, rather than just get a bunch of t-shirts with these towers on them and maybe a quote like, "Tear this tower down, Mr. President," say it to Trump, "Tear this tower down," and market that idea and profit and run weekly podcasts. We don't have no long-term gain here. We want to get these towers offline as safely, as quickly as possible. Preferably without anyone having to pay a price, because I think enough people have paid a price. There's enough North Carolinians right now that still don't have a home because of what these towers did to them. Yeah, the chemical haze is pretty bad, and you don't even know you're in it. Spend so much time up in the mountains, you don't even know. I mean, like when you come down off the mountains and you're not in that haze, that smog, that fog, and that chemical haze, depending on which one it is. Sometimes it's all 3 mixed together. You don't see it when you're down in there. You kind of can see it almost, but you really don't, because you're in the midst of it. You'll see in the news that Europe is coming out and they are publicly acknowledging that they plan to disperse stratospheric aerosol injections. Imagine that. They're actually using the correct terminology, not chemtrails, but stratospheric aerosol injections. So they've come out with, you see the Guardian report up on our Telegram channel, they are coming out and acknowledging that they're dimming the sun and they're spraying poisons in the skies. And they've got a record-breaking approval process that went through. And within a matter of weeks, people should start seeing a haze in the sky. And don't panic, because you've been told what they're doing. Now, most people who have been paying attention have seen those hazes develop over the years, and they recognize the streaks, and they know what stratospheric aerosol injections are. But for the normie population, this gives them an excuse just to hold on to their denial a little while longer. It's like that next act that Rome gave the audience when it was burning. That next gladiator versus a lion match. You had to stay for that one last match while your community burned and you had no home to go back to, because you were conquered and everybody in the stadiums were herded into the government-provided homes, or scattered across the desert and wilderness to fend for themselves. Either one, you better be prepared for both. You're just now joining us. The title of this broadcast is an email to the president of this university. University. Right now, if you want to come out, you didn't see earlier, you can get on this campus and access it and walk around. So I adjust some of this. You can walk around. You can go right up to those directed energy weapons. You guys are seeing next rad pictures on our Telegram channel. If you're not on Telegram, it's the only place that VOP isn't really shadow banned to the crazy extent we are even on YouTube. We're banned on Facebook, Meta platforms. You can't even share the links to our Telegram channel. Our Telegram channel links are blocked on all main social media outlets. So, you know, that right there should be a sign that we're authentic. If we were lying, then they wouldn't care. They would let us go out there and lie like the rest of them. But we're telling the truth, and not only that, we're actually exposing ways that people can fight back besides getting scanned for fake lawsuits that are going to eliminate geoengineering. Getting suckered in and contributing to your favorite politician who's going to put forth a bill that'll go nowhere to eliminate geoengineering. Vote for a governor or a president that you believe is going to eliminate geoengineering. You can't eliminate something that's a military USAP operation. These operations were running before we were even breathing God's air. That's now being poisoned by the military. Hey Vincent, if you're in Tulsa, you need to message my number, 520-500-4506. My wife's actually in Tulsa right now. Adjustments. We got some wind kicking. Back in business. Sorry about that. I had to flip this around. Hopefully it helps somewhat with the wind. Doesn't look like it is, but we'll try. This is all blocked out. Good. If you're just now joining us, this is Lewis Arthur with VOP News. We are running simulations against directed energy weapons like the one you see on the screen right there. That is a NEXRAD tower. It's part of the military's weather weapons system. This particular tower has so many functions, it'll blow your mind. I mean, it's not just 1, 2, or 3 things. It's all the way up in the 30s. There's over 30 functions that this tower can provide. And it keeps growing. Now, the frequency transmissions that they're able to output off of this tower, this directed energy weapon, It has the ability to repel weather systems, especially when they're charged with electroparticles, where you have them cloud seeded, for example. If you have metals, you have nanotech up there. If they put enough of that up there, then these towers can repel. And imagine if you can push something away, and then you have a tower miles over to the east, and you can push something away back to the west, and you can keep what you're pushing in between those towers as it's moving north. That is how the United States military utilized these towers to steer weather weapon Helene up into western North Carolina. That is why we still have families and friends out there with no homes. Right now, they still don't have a home. Even the very families that President Trump went out there to visit, those communities where we were. Nope, not happening. They're not returning none of the land that was taken by FEMA. They're not apologizing to any of the landowners. They're not compensating any of the survivors, the loved ones of those who were murdered. And now we have Western North Carolina families that know what these towers do, and they're afraid that these towers are going to be activated against them once again. Reasonable fear. The United States military already did it once. They want that lithium so bad. What's to stop them from doing it again? Well, we're hoping and praying Operation Assimilation, which is a VOP news special that you are participating in right now. We're hoping that this operation itself causes tower after tower to collapse across the nation. If you go to our news channel, you'll see pictures of the inside of these towers, what a tower looks like after it's been destroyed by a storm, for example. The decking, the stairs going up to these towers, various different types of towers. We want to thank everybody that are sending us pictures of their NexRads, pictures of their work when they installed these NexRads. Because so many people know now what they were unwittingly doing then. They didn't believe they were helping the military put directed energy weapons inside America to use against Americans. But they were told that they were helping the United States military play God with the weather, and they were going to be murdering a bunch of Americans by helping build these towers. They would not have had the slaves, the cattle, the people to work and build these towers. So, what does that tell you? You're looking at a directed energy weapon with chemtrails behind it, by the way. How perfect is that? It's a beautiful day down here in Norman, Oklahoma. If you would like to get out to Norman, Oklahoma and assist, we would love to have you. It's probably going to embolden some of our homeless. Now, we've had some encounters where they've seen me chase away law enforcement with my camera, so that does give more confidence for them that if they hang around me, they'll be protected. But you never know. If we get more people out here, then from the ground up, we'll have people that are on this campus right now join people who sleep in the grass around this campus, from the bottom to the top. Then we can run a large enough simulation to where Sheriff Chris Ameson is no longer failing to do his constitutional duty. He should be out here right now with every one of his deputy units and shutting down this research facility. But no, he's deciding to let the military continue to play God with the weather and to let our North Carolina families live in fear. Getting more honks, Chris, you hear that? You'll hear it pick up a little bit more, because when people just see the same thing every day and a stubbornness of someone who won't go away, they just want to do something to encourage that individual to stay where they are. Right now, we're just a little small virus that they can contain in Norman, Oklahoma. You guys could turn us into a super bug. I'm not interested in getting videos shared out. If they watch the videos, yeah, that's great. You know how many videos there are of VOP over the years? Someone could find us today and they'd lose about 2-3 years of their life just watching videos of what we've been doing and reading posts in our stories. I value their lives much more than watching what we've been doing. We're trying to encourage people to get out. If you want to help and you get out in your own area and you send us pictures of the next rads so we can keep uploading videos to let the feds and the United States military know that we are growing. And the attack simulation is no longer confined to Norman, Oklahoma. That there are next rads across the United States of America that citizens have gone out and taking pictures of. Now every one of those next rads have a security risk. And the protocol that's in place dictates that security must be mobilized. And then those citizens will get on film that security mobilizing, just like we did. We want America to know that the sheriffs and the cops across the nation will mobilize to protect military weapons being used against Americans. We want law enforcement to choose a side, the U.S. Constitution or a treasonous military. If you're just now joining us, there's an email, which is the title of this live broadcast. That email is to the president of this university that is helping the United States military play God with the weather. You're looking at a NEXRAD tower. The local weather guy will say it's a Doppler radar. The red-pilled believer in Jesus Christ, he's coming back, y'all better get ready guy, will tell you it's a directed energy weapon as part of the United States military's USAP operations, United States Antarctica Project. This is where globally the nation's leaders agreed to find one area they would never disagree in, and that is the race. We're in a race with other nations that we're not really in a race with, but it's a pretend race for the people participating. We're in a race. Who can control the weather the fastest? And the United States military has federal authorization to utilize this directed energy weapon against you. In fact, they utilized this NEXRAD tower against our families in Western North Carolina. And also, they utilized that NEXRAD tower. Now, these NEXRAD towers can send out frequency transmissions that repel storms. So if you have a storm coming your way towards this tower and this tower is activated, it sends out its frequency transmission. That storm is not going to come close to this tower. It's going to stop and divert the path of least resistance around this tower. So if you want to send a hurricane all the way up to Western North Carolina, you need a backbone. You need a central location where these towers are activated. We are at that location. We provided evidence to the FBI. Those of you that have been following Operation Leaning Tower with VOP News, you've known that we've got over 4 hours of testimony given to the FBI And this goes all the way back to Operation Pegasus Down being launched 2 years ago. And we went after the largest military base in the United States of America, Beale Air Force Base in Yuba County. We'll just skip past what they did there because they hate it when I talk about that. And I don't want them to hate nothing other than that tower we're looking at right now. If you were in law enforcement, that tower murdered thousands across the East Coast with a specific target in Buncombe County, and they wanted to get Kings Mountain and Gastonia area. Those of you guys know why, that giant lithium field they got out there. It's massive. And the United States military, God's good. Getting more honks, Chris. Better watch out. Some people know who I am already. They're tuning into the channel. But if you're looking at this tower right now, maybe you're, well, you're not them, but you want to come out and walk and get underneath that tower and take pictures. Any member of the public is available. And if that member of the public is available, they can come out and take photos of these towers. If you happen to have pictures or videos of the tower assemblies, what the towers look like after destruction, we got a really good photo in today, and it's amazing. Please send those photos to info.vop@protonmail.com. That's info.vop@protonmail.com. I don't even have flags and signs up yet, and I'm getting more honks today than I had before. God's good. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep coming out every day. We're going to keep stopping in these businesses and being a good customer and tipping good. People remember a good tipper. When they happen to see me flash that press badge, sneak it out suddenly, accidentally, so it's visible. So many people want to get on the news, man. They love to talk to me. And it gives me an opportunity. So I want to let everybody know, keep sharing my phone number. 520-500-4506. I have people signing me up for plumbing, for roofing, for vacations, for cruise lines. They're putting my number, and I'm getting all these telemarketers calling me, and I'm able to tell every single person that I'm being targeted. This is my news channel, and you just had the federal government in the United States of America spam you. Because the biggest opposition I have against me right now is the Department of Homeland Security Fusion Center, mobilized out here but scrambling to catch up. And if you are sharing anything that's trying to defame me, to imprison me, to murder me, you're working with the federal government, because at the highest levels of the United States military, they're trying to find some way to stop me. Now, they can't kill me. That's been tried. God's not going to let them do that. They can't scare me. They can't threaten me. They can't bribe me. What they can do is come out and destroy these towers, shut down these programs. So then the word I gave to our Western North Carolina families rings true. They won't say, Lewis promised me this, and he went out, and it never happened. No. I didn't promise them anything other than God would use me to come out and do what no one else would do. So I'm really promising what God would do, because I have no power. I don't have no power. If I had power to just tell that tower to be down right now, it's not how it's working right now. Now, can God give me that power? Oh, absolutely. Do I lack faith? No, I'm not lacking in faith. What we're up against is a wall of disbelief across the nation. Too many people believe that these towers save their lives, and we're out here on behalf of those murdered because of these towers. Go over to this one and zoom in. Good. Look how real those clouds look. If you were out here seeing the ripples and the fish bones right now, you would understand that's how scary it actually gets. The military is getting so good at mimicking God's creation. Weather wasn't created by God to destroy mankind or be used as a weapon to submit mankind to a tyrant's will. I mean, that's not why weather was created. Life, self-sustaining, natural weather occurs naturally, so the earth endures and refertilizes, re-energizes. My Heavenly Father doesn't have to poison me to give me a beautiful sky or a beautiful sunset or a beautiful rainbow. But the United States military has to poison me to control the weather. That's how weak the military is. You have to poison your own children, your own brothers and sisters. My own brother's part of this program, poisoning us. It's insane. You gotta think about that. Imagine that. I was the black sheep. I was the bad guy in my family. Grew up in juvenile prison. CPS got me right away and threw me right back to the abuser. They didn't care. They get this kid out of here. I was not a good kid. I don't pretend like I was. Don't say there's no such thing as a bad kid, because I'm going to tell you something. I break that stereotype. I was a bad kid. If you look up Dustin Lee Meyer, Army, well, you'll see. Now, what does the military do about that? There's a bloodline that's already been infiltrated inside the U.S. military. I didn't do that. I didn't think that I would be sitting here today. It'd be the last thing I thought I would be doing. Filming military weapons being used against Americans. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. Why would the military use weapons against Americans? But they are. A lot of stuff's going to be coming out over the next few days. Go all the way back to a private Dustin Lee Meyer, who took his younger brother that was kicked out of the juvenile prison at the age of 18 with no place to go. Took in his younger brother, Michael Lewis Arthur Meyer. Who is Dustin Lee Meyer? And how does Michael Lewis Arthur Meyer know what the military is doing? A lot of stuff coming out the next few days. God is good. We're going to charge this phone up. Got some people coming over here to talk. Be a minute. 1 second. I'm going to cut this video off. All right. We're going to get back with you guys. If you can come out to Norman, Oklahoma, you got to get to this tower right here. It was used to murder families in western North Carolina.